We are just waiting for a few more folks to join. Before that, I'll begin with a quick round of introduction. I'm Ekta Singh. I'm the project coordinator for the Center for Digital Tech and Healthcare, CDIT, in IIIT Hyderabad. I would like to present to you the speaker of our session, Mr. Raja Puladi. He is also the head and chief executive of our center. And along with him, we also have Mr. Chandra Gundamraju, who is the chief architect of our center. Sir, would you please like to speak a few words?
Yeah, thank you, Ekta. Thanks for the introduction. As you have said, let's just wait for a couple of minutes for any more folks to join, and then we'll get started. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining. Okay, let's just take a couple more minutes, and then we will get started.
While we are waiting for other folks to join, if there are any participants who would want to tell us what are they really looking forward to for the session, if you can just unmute yourself or drop your comments, we will read it out. Yeah, we have a question from Shreya that is the master's program and fellowship program different? Shreya, we have presentation deck around where you will be finding most of these information. So some of the questions will be answered through the deck, and whatever is remaining, we'll take it at the end of the session. Adarsh, you can please check our website, cdat.ac.in for more information about internships and other job opportunities available at our center.
Shall we get started, Ekta?
Yes, so sure. Yeah, participants, we should go ahead. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for your presence today. So we'll talk about what Research Translation Fellows is, how is it connected with MS, earning MS, and who we are and all of that stuff over the course of next 20 to 30 minutes. So a quick introduction about myself. I'm Raja Poladi. After my engineering at NIT Warangal and MBA from IIM Calcutta, I have close to 30 years of experience. I've worked predominantly in corporate. I was there with Cognizant for a while. I was with Pramati for a while. I was a co-founder at Diva.ai, and I have joined Triple IT as a head of this center in February of this year, right? So the center meaning. So today we'll talk more about not only about this program, but because this program is sponsored by the center, we'll also talk a little bit about the center so that you have complete idea on this. So first of all, what is this program, Research Translation Fellows, right? At the essence of it, it's a combination of, it's a fellowship. So it's more than just an MS. So through this program, you will get both an MS degree as well as what we call as a translational fellowship. So quite often when you undertake an MS degree, especially senior people or experienced people, while you're doing MS, what we have noted is that the MS knowledge would become that much more richer in case it is grounded by practical work around whatever you are learning. So this translation fellowship we thought was a good complementary mechanism wherein you are not only learning through MS, but you're also applying the concepts by doing some real work so that all the concepts are grounded. So we thought that both of them coming together make a lot of sense. So that's the purpose why this particular Research Translation Fellow program is being introduced by Triple IT. So going forward, I'll quickly go through a bunch of slides. So what is RTF? It allows you to earn an MS degree. The program has a comprehensive academic structure. So Triple IT has been running a part-time MS program called as Sponsored MS by Research. The Sponsored MS by Research was predominantly targeting people who were working in the industry and who wanted to do MS as a part-time work. So the nature of MS offered to such experienced people is slightly different than the MS that is typically offered as a part of Triple IT curriculum. For a Triple IT curriculum MS, it's an intensive 2.5-year program, 2.5-year program with a lot of coursework. Whereas the Sponsored MS by Research that has been operational for a while is focused on people who already probably have a lot of understanding about the courses, technology, and all of that, is focused on providing a practical introduction, a project-based introduction into MS. So it's equivalent, same as the MS degree that you get, but the curriculum and the model is quite different, and it focuses more on gaining hands-on research experience, right? So that's the Triple IT's Sponsored MS by Research. Now that has been operational for several years, and general expectations for that particular program, when it is undertaken as a part-time program by industry, is that one needs to be able to spend at least 15 hours towards that particular program. That could be over weekends as well. So 15 hours is what is expected from a Sponsored MS by Research student. Now this fellowship program is a full-time program. So it counts for this 15 hours that one needs to dedicate towards earning an MS degree, just like Sponsored MS by Research would. But in addition, this would offer an experience to work in a translational lab of Triple IT for the rest of the time, which is approximately 35 hours per week. So together, the fellowship accounts for about 35 hours per week. The MS by Research, approximately 15 hours. Now, these things could change over week. Sometimes it could be more, sometimes it could be less. The center would be very flexible because both of them are being offered by Triple IT itself. So that what we are saying here is an aggregate of these two things. On an average, we expect that 15 hours of your work over the course of 3 years would go towards earning your MS degree, which is exactly same as the sponsored MS by research, and the rest 35 hours per week approximately would go towards doing translational work with Center for Digital Technologies in Healthcare. Okay. So what is the eligibility criteria for this? Because we are offering it as a sponsored by MS Research, and generally sponsored by sponsored MS by Research is for experienced people, the criteria is somewhat similar for this RTF as well. We are looking for at least 5 years of professional experience. That's the starting point. There have been some requests if we could be a bit lenient. We may consider it on a case-to-case basis. I cannot promise you that, but surely we are looking for everything. It is open for all people with at least 5 years of experience. We look 5 years of related experience, and we don't expect the people who are applying for this are aware of ML or AI, but we do expect that they have good understanding of application development, system design, and a related framework. So we expect them to be master of their trade. They don't have to have a definitive grounding in research or ML or AI or data analytics. All of that may be a bonus, but is absolutely not expected and is not going to be a criterion for selection or evaluation. We expect that people who would want to learn some of the technologies that I mentioned in a practical way to be the people who could potentially apply for this program, right? But in general, we expect that a lot of it is driven by self-curiosity. So we expect people applying to have keen interest in emerging technologies, frameworks, and open source tools in general, appreciation for research, and interest in engaging with academic work. Okay. The selection involved, so what does selection involve? So it would be screening of your application. There would be an assignment that would be conducted, which could be either a coding or coding some queries, which would be an online evaluation. And afterwards, for the shortlisted folks, there would be an interview by the center as well as faculty. So we are trying to combine both of them as a single step. It would be done either as 1 or 2 interviews, but on the same day, so that you don't have to expend a lot of time doing those. So it essentially, your in-person presence would probably be required for a session to participate in this evaluation mechanism. So this gives you an idea. So this slide is for those of you, for most of you probably you may not be aware of what is this 3-year MS program look like. So this 3-year MS program, again, which is same as sponsored MS by research, you can also find links to that on the IIIT website. So this typically involves is pretty lenient in terms of academic rigor from a core standpoint as compared to a typical MS. So you start with term 1. Term 1, you do 1 course and 1 project, which is an exploratory project to identify what could be the potential thesis, so that you have some understanding of the course, some understanding of the related project, and you could start having some ideas on the thesis. The second term would involve a course, and then you'd be doing a specific project work for the thesis. Hey, this is going to be the scope of what you would accomplish. You'd be guided by faculty in both term 1 and term 2 for conducting this exploratory analysis as well as for scoping the project. Term 3 onwards, the project work would begin. It would be advised by IIIT faculty. Ignore the word project work at company. That's part of sponsored MS by research. In this case, because you are going to be with IIIT itself. So the CDIT, which I'll talk more about, can provide you guidance and inputs on what kind of a project is probably going to be more appropriate. Unless you have a definitive idea, the center would support you with, hey, what could be a thesis project that you can undertake where you could spend proper research even while exploring opportunities in which you can create a solution out of that. So then there would be a mini project in term 4, which could be in summer 2, and then term 5 and term 6, there could be additional project work with advice from IIIT, and then term 6 is project work with advice from IIIT again. So at the end of term 6, you would have submitted thesis. Okay. So there are overall about 5 courses that you would undertake as a part of this. Now there is some flexibility. So it says typically 4 courses, a scoping project, a mini project, and a thesis. And there would be some flexibility on if you want to kind of rejig and do more courses in one semester vis-a-vis others. I think all of those options would be there as listed here. Approximately it takes 3 years. In some case it could take less, but approximately 3 years for this MS program to run. So we expect, based upon our prior experience, that such an MS program would require 15 hours per week, as I've listed before. So that's about the MS program. Now let's talk about what you would do in the 35 hours of work, right? So the 35 hours is going to be spent in doing translational research or creating solutions out of this translational research, or developing solutions addressing a specific problem, all of which in healthcare domain, right? So CDIT is a healthcare research translation center at IIIT. So IIIT has a variety of research centers, including computer vision, language translation, data analytics and data sciences, cognitive sciences, biomedical, so on and so forth. In addition to about 15 to 20 such research centers supported by about 120 faculty, there are also 5 translation centers which are associated, aligned with a domain, and they work on leveraging this research and producing real solutions which are deployed and which make an impact, which leave an impact on the ground. So CDIT is a healthcare research translation center. We focus only on the healthcare stuff, focused on applying the digital technologies to improve the efficiency and affordability in healthcare delivery. Okay. Now, why are we offering sponsored RTF? So through this program, CDIT aims to attract professionals who already have experience in building solutions, who, when equipped with the appropriate research knowledge, research rigor, and the right opportunity, we believe that they would excel in what they are doing by leveraging what they already have. So, and also this program we expect would offer an opportunity for those people who have worked but who have an interest to realign their career towards something different. They probably have done work in certain area, pretty good at that, but they have an ambition to reorient their career to pursue an area of their interest which is related to contemporary research that's happening. Okay, so that's the reason why we are sponsoring that. So this is what CDIT is trying to do. CDIT is trying to establish IIIT Hyderabad at the forefront of digital health translating research with societal impact. We are doing it through improving efficiency and affordability of healthcare delivery in India and beyond, leveraging modern technologies and related academic research. We are doing this by cultivating and growing ecosystem of partnerships across healthcare ecosystem to evolve our expertise and influence in that particular sector. When I say our, it's all of IIIT's. We are going to build and deploy healthcare solutions and products. We are also going to promote research, catalyze research and innovation at the intersection of healthcare and technology. So that's the means through which we are intending to realize our vision. Who are our current partners? The people who we have signed an MOU with and are executing at least one project include AIG Hospitals, Yashoda Hospitals, Sindhu Hospitals, Grace Cancer Foundation. There is one more, which is Endometriosis Foundation of India, which is here. And there is RICH, which is Research and Innovation Circle of Hyderabad, which connects the academia and research with startups and industry. So that they are our partner. In addition to that, we interact very closely with IIIT ecosystem, including computer vision, data science and analytics, language, NLP or language translation labs, as well as CIE, which is an incubation center that is based out of IIIT, which works closely with a lot of startups. So these are our active partners, the logos of which are listed here. There are a few more which we have not listed in terms of logos, relatively newer ones, which include Choice Foundation, an NGO, Rian Foundation. It's a technology NGO focusing on sub-Saharan Africa in producing affordable healthcare solutions. NIN, which stands for the National Institute of Nutrition. So those are a few other things that are our partners currently. Going on to the next slide, I just wanted to give you, we have about 9 projects, but we are listing 6 projects here that are currently ongoing, so that you have an idea on what kind of work that you might be engaged with during your 35 hours. So the first one, the leftmost one, is a nutrition scanner. The primary idea being that can we, by taking a picture of the plate that someone is eating, can we identify the macronutrients, which is a combination of carbohydrates, protein, and fat. So we are intending to do that through a combination of identifying or segmenting the dishes, identifying what they are, object detection, and then subsequently estimating the volume using a variety of techniques, and then subsequently using all of this information to producing the nutritional content information. There are various ways and various methods to which we can accomplish that. And there are some solutions in the market, but based upon what we have observed, they are not suitable. They don't address the kind of reality that one would encounter with Indian cuisine, especially on the ground or on the field. So that's one. The second one, I'm going to the right one. This is non-invasive anemia detection. Here, the whole idea is that in the earlier days, when you visit a doctor, the doctor would look at your eyes, he would roll your eyes like this, look at your conjunctiva, which is the red portion of the bottom of your eye, and he would look at that and he would have an idea on, hey, how is your HB level, right? Which is anemia is a condition where where there is a shortage of your red blood cells, which is called as HB value. So clinically, any HB value which is below 12 for women and below 13.5 or so for men, they are called anemic. Of course, again, depending upon who you speak, their classification might be different. But the whole idea is that can you, especially in the public health, when you don't have access to mechanisms to extract blood and test them on an appropriate device, can you from the picture alone provide convey an appropriate view to the person evaluating on whether this person is anemic or not? If he is deemed to be anemic, then there could be some intervention that could be administered in the public health space. So that is thought of as great value, and is especially for developing countries, it's a very relevant problem. The third one is where we are working with super specialty hospital, where there is a problem called achalasia, which is swallowing related disorder. And there are a variety of such disorders, and these disorders are detected by inserting a device, a catheter through your mouth, through the esophagus. And as you are swallowing, the catheter records how the pressure is varying as you are swallowing from top to bottom. It produces plots like this that we mentioned. So there is an established heuristic. Now, what we are trying to do is that can we automate the process of evaluating such output? And also, can we use AI for automatically classifying what kind of disorder it could be so that we can democratize access to this? Okay. And one advantage of India in general when it comes to healthcare is that we have access to a lot of data and a lot of diseases, and the kind of subjects have certain characteristics which are very unique to India. So given the vastness of data and the variety that we have in India, it's always going to be a brimming field of research and impact, especially for application of AI and ML. The fourth one is risk stratification based upon radiological and cytological reports, which are essentially the mammography reports, pap smear reports, X-ray reports, reports in textual form. They're scanned. All of them are digitized, the text understood, the formats detected, and subsequently we are trying to identify what do these reports say. Do they have higher risk, lower risk? What are the key identifications, key observations made there? And how do those observations differ across the different regions where such a field study is conducted? So all of this is a part of that. Subsequently, the idea is also to integrate image analysis with textual analysis, which makes for richer information, which enables reaching out. This is being done in public health, so which enables people who require any help or assistance to be reached out quickly and effectively. The fifth one that is over here is surgical video highlights extraction. So there are a lot of surgeries, open surgeries or laparoscopic or keyhole surgeries, where you have a good field vision and the surgery itself lasts for about 2 hours. But then quite often for reviewing and for education purposes, you want to look at highlights of the surgery. And usually if a doctor were to spend his time, which is very valuable, to create a 10-minute summary out of 2-hour video, it takes about 8 to 10 hours. So the whole idea is to replicate what a doctor is doing using ML and provide that summary extract. Right. So that's the purpose of this. There are a wide variety of applications in this particular space, not just extraction of the summary, but subsequently we also want to see if we can classify or qualify the nature of surgery that was performed, to identify any issues, to provide any feedback to the person performing the surgery. The sixth one is endometriosis diagnosis. Endometriosis is a kind of disorder which affects about 5 to 10% of women in reproductive stage across the board in developing as well as in developed countries, but often very poorly understood and diagnosed. So but there is a strong hypothesis with adequate basis that the symptoms expressed by a woman could be a potential indicator of whether she's affected by endometriosis or not. If you manage to do that, then that would be a significant advantage, because quite often such women are not diagnosed correctly or misdiagnosed. So this is to address that. And subsequently, even when it is diagnosed correctly, when someone is planning to do a surgery for them, because of the way the disease presents, it is not a cancer, but it has tumor-like symptoms. So being able to make sense of how the disease has spread across the different organs would enable the specialist to do appropriate surgery planning and figure out what is an appropriate approach and how he or she should plan for that. So we are intending to progress to that in the second stage by leveraging both MRI data and maybe ultrasound data. Okay, so that's another of such projects. So each of these projects we are working closely with a partner. So being a translational project, every project that CDIT undertakes is grounded, has a sound qualification mechanism. We make sure that we are solving a problem which can be readily deployed on the ground and where we realize value, right? So that's the purpose. That's how we differentiate a project that is being undertaken by CDIT. A little bit about our team. So I've talked about myself here. I am the chief executive of the center. We also have a 3-member. Apart from me, there are 2 other faculty who are closely engaged. Professor Bapi, who is the head of cognitive sciences, and Professor Ramesh, who is the head of outreach, professor of practice, as well as dean of industry outreach and alumni affairs. Then we have a very experienced researcher, Dr. Bishesh Kanal, who has been doing research in public health for the last 15-20 years, has several papers published in very, pretty pretty good conferences like Vika and others. Then we have Chandra Gunamraju, who has also joined me in this call. He has worked for close to 20 years. He has a significant experience in framework development and product development on wide variety of translational applications. So he is the chief architect of CDIT. Then we have Dr. Deepesh Vendoti. He is a medical doctor. He's our digital health scientist. He has also more than 20 years of experience as a doctor, as a digital health, as a public health specialist who has done his work in India and abroad. And then we have Dr. Kamalakar Dadi. He's a postdoc who has been doing research in IIIT for a few years now on healthcare related topics. So he's going to be our senior research scientist. Along with the core team that we have on the right side, the 4 people, we have an aggregate of close to 15 people that are a part of this team, 5 of whom are here, but there are 10 other people. We are looking forward to grow up to about 30 people, including the people that we are intending to enroll through this Research Translational Fellows Program. So I think the last but not the least, so what is that we have done and what is that we are going to do? So this is our first year where we have established this as a healthcare specialist center. We have the core seat, we have the leadership team, we have the relations built, we have started executing projects, we have started deploying the projects. We have also identified, we are in the process of identifying the core themes are focused for the next year. In the next year, we are going to do increased research work, translational research, so that aligns pretty well with the Research Translation Fellows Program. It's not only building solutions as we did in year 1, but we are also going to do research along with solutions. We'll be monetizing some of our efforts, especially where we engage with hospitals. We want to be recognized as an important player in the healthcare innovation ecosystem. Year 3, we'll engage with policymakers. Patents and papers will be published in appropriate conferences. We hope to engage with startups for realizing the value out of the IP generated. So CDIT is not going to be marketing or taking the products produced to market, because that requires a different kind of focus. So we are going to partner with startups in doing the same thing. And we'll also contribute to development, evolution, and support of courses related to healthcare. So that's the plan for 2027, right? So right now, this is 2025. What we have done year 2 is most of 2026. So, yeah, I think I've taken about close to half an hour. So I'll stop here. We'll open it out for questions and we'll address. You may unmute yourself or you can post your question in the chat.
Yes, Shrikant, please go ahead.
Hi, Raja. So I just have one question regarding the mentorship. Since you have mentioned it's a fellowship, I wanted to understand how the mentorship is going to work. Like, how often do the fellows get to interact with their faculty mentors or the industry mentors?
Right. So for the MS program, right, there are 2 parts to it, as a part of the translational program and as a part of the MS program. For the MS program, you're always going to be, so right from day 1, you'd be associated with a faculty who is going to advise you on what mini projects that you'd be engaged with. And then during the course of first 1 year, you'd also both of you would also work towards identifying what's the thesis project. Now, the thesis project would always be done in close coordination with a professor that is aligned with your interest and based upon your prior discussion with the coordinator who you would engage from day 1. So all the projects and all the theses, apart from the courses, you are just attending the course conducted by any of the professors, but all the projects and all the theses you are doing in close coordination with a definite faculty, right? So that's about the MS program. About the translational work that you are going to do with CDIT, CDIT actively engages with professors for a variety of these projects. So out of the 6 projects that I did mention, except for 2 projects, the remaining 4, are being engaged, are being done in close coordination with faculty. So even as a part of executing those projects, you would be interacting with faculty, taking their advice and guidance, and you would be proceeding appropriately. So both MS as well as the translational research would involve constant and steady engagement with faculty.
Yeah, thanks, Raju.
Yeah, Naveen, you can go ahead and ask a question.
I just want to ask that I have a good experience in game development, and regarding this data science, I have done a few small projects. So, am I eligible for this?
Yes, you would be eligible. You meet the qualification criteria. So if you have done game development, we look for a strong grip on the fundamentals of application development. We look for your experience in rolling things to production, the rigor of engineering. So all of those things is what we look for. So if you have developed games, then you would, I'm assuming you would fit all of that criteria. So we would need to look at your profile to give a definitive answer, but prima facie from what you have told, you would be eligible.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me just, while other people are looking through, let me just look at some of the questions which have come in the chat box. I am looking for internship at CDID. Yeah, I mean, you are looking for internship at CDID. So that's a separate channel. Please reach out to Ekta or the same email. We may open that channel. There are a variety of intern programs that happen in IIIT, and there is no one single route for them. Please shoot a mail to Ekta and then she can get back to you on with an appropriate time. Master's program and fellowship program is different, right? So this fellowship includes masters. We call it as research translational fellowship program because fellowship is much more prestigious than a pure master's program. That is why we call it as a research translation fellows. But that awards you the master's program as well. Okay, so fellowship is a superset. Master's program is a subset of it. So you would get an MS degree as a part of this fellowship, but you get more than that. You would be called as a research translation fellow from IIIT, Hyderabad. The next question, ma'am, I'm not doing anything by profession now, was preparing for competitive exams, a few year gaps as well. Am I eligible for this? If your total professional experience is 5 years or close to 5 years, then you would be automatically eligible. If there is an exception, we might consider on a case-to-case basis, but we cannot make any promises right now because this RTF Research Translation Fellow is aimed at experienced people. What kind of technical skills are expected from freshers? This is not for freshers. So we look for practical experience. So I'd assume that that is not for this program. If there is any opening that we advertise, please refer to the advertisement which refers to that, and then we can provide an answer appropriately. Is there any scope of incubation for the thesis or translational work we will be working on? So there are two things. So the thesis project that you would want to do as a part of your MS, you have flexibility in choosing what kind of a thesis project that you want to work for. So that thesis project, if you want to do it that way, the IP would be predominantly in between you and the faculty that you're engaged. So you have a lot of option. In fact, faculty would encourage you to go and do something with that. Alternately, for a lot of projects that we engage with other partners, that IP is jointly owned by IIIT and the partner by default. Okay. Now, having said that, even if this IP is jointly owned by IIIT and that particular partner, we are always looking for startups or products who can take that thing and then go to market. And in return for that, that IP might have certain value, and then it might result in a certain stake being offered to IIIT and possibly that hospital. But a lion's share of the stake, provided there is promise, would be with the startup. So even if you're working or on a project which results in an IP that is not completely or that is not owned by you or is jointly owned by IIIT and a partner such as a hospital or somebody else, you still, in fact, you'd be in a pole position to try and think of taking it to market by being a startup or by incubating a startup. Hopefully that addresses the question. If there is, if that doesn't, please come again, Mr. Puneet. Okay. Govind, I'm a BTech final year CSC student interested in research. I have experience as an intern industry and MBs at UAI. I'm looking for research opportunity. Is it necessary? Yeah, for this research translation fellows, we are looking for experienced people because the MS by research program also assumes experience because that's suitable only for such people. So for this particular RTF, that is what we are looking for. Otherwise, if you're in the final year looking for internship, there are a variety of internship programs. Please reach out to Ekta or Cedith at IIIT about the same email ID with your interest. Whenever something appropriate opens up for you, we would definitely reach. What is the balance of coursework and fellowship project? So I'm not sure I fully follow. Let me just take a stab at it. If I have not addressed, you can please feel free to come back. So as a part of MS programs, you are expected to do 4 courses at least. You have an option to do more. 4 courses at least, a mini project and a thesis work, right? So that's all the coursework that you would be doing as a part of your MS. Let me just make sure that I'm giving you the right information. Yeah, 4 courses, a scoping project, a mini project, and a thesis. Okay, so that's all the coursework. That all would, your performance across these things is what would enable you to earn an MS degree, right? Now, apart from that, when we talk of fellowship, now fellowship could involve more than one project. Fellowship is where you're working on actual real life projects. It is in a sense like work experience, the time that you spend. So one advantage of this is that you are gaining 3 years of work experience while you're also gaining an MS degree. Okay, so this is not like a pure academic program where you are only doing an academics and then you're not gaining experience. In fact, because you are spending 35 hours on an average towards solving practical problems, you are gaining 3 years of work experience along while you are doing appropriate coursework, research work, and earning an MS degree. Does that answer your question, Pranay? If not, please feel free to seek clarification. Okay, while you're thinking through, I'll answer the other questions. I have my master's in computer science. My MSc project was published in an international journal as well. So will there be an internship program in the upcoming days which will allow me for MS in future? Yeah, please send your profile to Ekta. We may be looking for interns soon. If not, we as a center, there are several internship programs in IIIT. Shoot a mail to Ekta and we will look at that at the right time. Sir, I have experience in teaching for 4 years. This is from Revati. Now I'm doing a career transition to AI field, currently doing an internship. So for the RTF program, Revati, we are looking for real development experience of building solutions and deploying to production, that kind of an experience. So teaching experience, if it is only teaching experience, which doesn't involve the accompanying solution building or research, translational research or something of that nature, we may not give due weightage for that particular 4 years. So it depends upon the nature of experience. If you have done a lot of research work, a lot of translational work, and maybe some consulting work in this 4 years, then you could be eligible, but maybe not otherwise. So we can probably comment when we look at your profile, we can consider that and evaluate. So that addresses the questions that we have received on the webinar, on the chat box. So guys, please feel free if you want to ask any more questions?
There are also some questions we received on the Google form, so I will just raise one. Is there any specific research area or projects that the fellow will work on? Will they be allowed to choose the project they are going to work on?
Right. So, yeah, so all the work, so as a part of the translational work, right, with CDIT, all the work is going to be in the space of healthcare. Most of the work is going to be in the areas where CDIT is going to have definitive focus on. There are various areas of our focus. One of them is women, maternal and reproductive health of women. But there are a few others, but there could be some other work unrelated to these themes that we could undertake as part of CDIT. Now, with respect to MS, we expect that thesis work that you undertake is related to healthcare. But beyond that, you have absolute choice on, hey, what is the thesis work that you want to undertake? And that is usually arrived at in close coordination with the faculty associated who would act as your coordinator in the first 1 year. So during that particular thing, you would be discussing with them, and then that is what is going to be the basis. So you would have pretty big flexibility on your choice of thesis project for MS. Yeah, Ekta. Meanwhile, there are a couple of other questions. I have implementation experience for more than 8 years. Absolutely, Sanjay. I mean, 5 years is only the minimum qualification that we are looking for. More than 5 years is always eligible, right? The sweet spot we expect would be between 5 and 15 years. When we can expect the assignment in an interview will happen. So we will get back. We will be starting that soon. We are expecting that the initial qualification and assignment would happen in the second half of December. And interviews would happen either in the second half of December or in the first half of January, right? And program itself, there's a little flexibility on when the program starts. It could start anywhere between 1st February to 1st April. So that's the duration in which we are looking forward to start the program. Right. Great to hear that, Sanjay. Would look forward to your application too. So that addresses other questions. Ekta, you may read from any other feedback or questions that you have got. Do you have any other questions, Ekta, that you have received?
Yes, we'll first take Pranay's question and then I will raise the question.
So I have 4 years of experience, although the RTF recommends 5. I have 4 years experience in robotics surgery. Is it, I mean, so two parts there. One is 5 years is a clear-cut case. Anything less than 5 years on a case-to-case basis, we would look at it. If we feel that there is intense work done, we might consider it favorably. So there is nothing. If you have 4 years and feel that, hey, you have very relevant experience, by all means, go ahead and apply. In robotic surgery, if it is on the technical side of robotic surgery, that's what you probably mean. Absolutely. If you have done any work building solutions or doing research around that, I think that looks pretty interesting and relevant to certain themes of ours. So we'll give you that advantage if that's what is the case. If you are a medical practitioner, if that's what you mean by robotic surgery, then this expects people to have an engineering background and technical experience. So that's what we're looking for.
The next question that we had was, will the 3 years of the fellowship be counted as a work experience in IT industry or?
Yes, by all practical means, I think when you say it's seeded, you can, by all means, and any credentials that we would give or letter that we would give, you can treat it, and we will provide you support for and provide clarification to people so that they are clear that this is IT industry experience. This is technology experience. There's no different. In fact, if anything, it's more intense. It's not just equivalent to 3 years of IT industry experience. And we believe that it should be of a lot more significant value because you're doing impactful work, pretty closely tied with cutting edge research. Yeah, Srikant, if you have a question, please go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I have a question. If you have a time and no one is like, there is no question, I can just go ahead and ask.
Yeah, please go ahead and ask.
Yeah, so the main focus of the fellowship is itself a translation aspect of it. So just want to understand what's the criteria or like how you judge an idea is just purely academic or a translation.
Okay, so there are a few things. All the ideas that we select are something that come out through our discussions with the partners, right? So all the ideas that we have picked are some things which have originated when we are discussing these with our partners, and partners, almost all the time, the partner has identified that as a problem which needs to be solved. So it's qualified. What we make sure is that, okay, fine. I mean, in some cases, we have also got some suggestions which said that, hey, this would be a nice problem to solve. But our qualification is, do we have a way in which we can create impact? We also are looking for the channel. Okay, fine. If you build a solution, where is that we are going to deploy it and see if it is really adding value? We look for that access. Okay, so a few things that we look for. I mean, so that's one essential criteria. But in general, when we look at things that we look for, if you have, even in this case, we have got several ideas with one of the hospitals that we are working with. We had 27 ideas that have come out. We distilled it down and then we came down to 3. So the criteria that we used is the degree of innovation that is involved in that particular project, especially when it is applied to India. The quantum of impact, who is it impacting? What kind of an impact is it leaving? Impact could be social, impact could be technical. And this impact could leave an impact on the patients, could leave an impact on the doctors, could enable them to save their time. All of those impact is what we would consider the kind and degree of impact that it is causing. And the third thing is readiness. Readiness is readiness of both the partner organization as well as the center. When I say partner organization, they might want to do something, but they may not have the data, or they may not have the time that they need to expend to realize the solution, because a lot of them would require the partner organization or the hospital to also spend some time, the doctors to spend some time. If they are not ready for that, then we may not undertake that. In some cases, the CDIT also, depending upon, say, for example, if it's a genomics problem, we do have some faculty who work with that. But if there is a combination of translational and research thing, and if we feel that, oh, that may be a little, we need more experience to address or tackle that, then we might not, we might pass that away. So in short, subject to the qualification criteria of access to impact, we are predominantly looking at degree of innovation, degree of impact, and readiness. Those are the 3 things. And typical timeline that we ask, if it is a solution, if it is a research problem, it could be 1 to 2 years. If it's a solution, we want to iterate with a solution being deployed once every 6 months, at least once every 6 months.
Thank you so much.
So what is the next step? I think we would, as I've told, by the mid of December, we would be qualifying, we would be shortlisting all the profiles, we would get back. And we would, for those profiles that we shortlist, we would be conducting an assignment. We would get back with a shortlist. In case your profile is shortlisted, we'll get back to you. And for all of those that are shortlisted, we would be conducting an assignment, an online assignment. And we'll again get back to you by the end of this month, whether you have cleared or not. It may be even a bit earlier, but surely towards the last week of December or first week of January, around that time frame, we would be conducting the interviews. And at any stage, if you feel that you don't have transparency or you need to understand more, feel free to reach us on the same email, cdit@replyt.ac.in, and we'll get back to you with the response. Okay. So couple of other things. If there are no other questions, I think, Ekta, if I'm not wrong, this video would also be uploaded on YouTube. Is that right?
Yes, it will be uploaded on
Okay, so
YouTube
in
as well
case-
as on our website.
Right. So in case any of you or your friends would like to review it for deeper insight, you can always visit the website or the channel that Ekta is going to share. We are also going to send an FAQ document for all the questions that we thought someone might ask. So that will also be shared by Ekta with you. And you can always get back now that you have our coordinates. You can always get back in case you want to get more information. We'll get back to you with the shortlist status by sometime next week. And then we would keep you posted on the subsequent steps as and when we conduct them.
There's one question by Surya in the chat box, which says, does the fellowship include additional support such as funding for conferences, research materials, travel, or project-related resources?
So for the thesis project, it would be no different than any of the other things. There is anything that is approved by the faculty is something that would be approved first. So you have to kind of discuss with faculty, and then that would be a part of the cost that would be incurred. For any seeded, the translational project, everything would be borne by the faculty. So we don't expect, I mean, we'll be offering 1 lakh per month stipend for the fellows, for the translation fellows. What would be the assignment about, sir? I didn't follow what the assignment. Assignment is a coding test and a regular evaluation test, because we also have the characteristics of an employer, of a typical employer. We are a cross between an academic institute and a corporate. So we would be conducting an evaluation, which includes a programming test, which would probably last for an hour, which also acts as a basis for our subsequent discussion. Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Hopefully, we have given you enough clarification. Should you have more, we'd always be happy to get back to you and provide the desired clarification. Please be in touch with Ekta or the email ID that we have shared with you. Thank you.